Hello everybody, Grizzly Pig here and welcome to today's episode where I am going to show you my Arcanist. Very special episode. We have just made her and she is called Mileena, one of the characters from the Mortal Kombat game series. As you can see, I've made her a woman with black hair just like Mileena is. I'm just coming into the game in the starter zone where you get sent as an Arcanist when you first start out. And I'm just doing my keybinds now because I have to do this every time. There's maybe an easier way of doing it in the files or whatever if you have them the same on all your characters. But we're just coming here, we're picking up some stuff from the bank. So we've got some gear that we've made for her. Heartland Conqueror gear, 5-piece there, which helps us with leveling up more, getting more experience from monsters with the training perk on your weapons. We're also running that with 5-piece Orders Wrath. Both of these sets are crafted at level 10 only. We are not going to be swapping into higher level sets. We're just running the level 10 set through. We're just going to literally do stuff to level, nothing else. We're going to do lots of different stuff here, but now you can see that I'm just going to pick up the Undaunted and the Fighters Guild skill trees as well. This is something you should do straight away. And now I've got those, we're going to head out and get ourselves to level 10. I cannot use the gear that I've made until level 10 anyway, but we're gonna head over to Craglorn right now, and we're gonna just kill some of these elementals here. And it's a bit tricky. I'm not in a group, and I haven't got any abilities. So the first thing I'm gonna do is pick up the card throwing trick, the ability that throws a bunch of cards, because the last one is an AoE. It does damage to lots of different targets, so we're going to take that one. We're also going to get the beam as soon as we can. That's probably the best ability for leveling this way. And then once we get level 10, we're probably going to dip in and do some dungeons. We're going to do lots of different things. We're going to try some dolmens out. Oh, and I've just realised here, you want to do this at the start. Don't do this when you're leveling. You want to get your CP all sorted out, get some points in CP, because that'll help you out a lot. Don't do what I did and leave that. So yeah, the gear I've chosen is basically, we've got 2 swords for the back bar, the Heartland Conquerors swords. They are actually not going to be used an awful lot through my leveling, but I got them anyway. I don't think what's on your back bar matters, the enchantments and the traits, etc., but I took them anyway. On the front bar, we're using a staff, destruction staff, because my end game for this is going to be using a destruction staff, more specifically an ice staff in PvP. I've got an idea of how I want to build this character. We're going to be trying out something totally organic, to me at least. If it's been built before, I don't know about it, but we're going to give it a go, and I'm going to talk about that later. We're going to pump all of our points into Magicka. We're going to pick up the skill lines in our racial as soon as we can, and we're taking at least one ability from each of the class trees here to make sure that we level those trees up consistently. And we're also taking medium and light on some of our pieces of armor as well to get those trees leveled up too. I would have liked also to take a heavy piece, but I actually didn't. That's just bad preparation on my part. But nonetheless, I just wanted to get into this as soon as possible. So the things we are doing to increase our experience, though I'm not doing it all the time here. I'm in a group now, but we are going to make sure we're in a group whenever we can, which is pretty easy, because when you're doing dungeons or arenas or dolmens or whatever, that's not a hard thing to do. You'll get extra experience for being in a group. We're also running scrolls throughout the whole of this leveling experience as well, and I think I used about 7 or 8 scrolls. I can't remember exactly, I didn't take note. And we're starting off using the 150% scrolls. I think I had 1 or 2 of those, I'm not sure. Then we went down to the 100% scrolls, and then down to the 50% scrolls, so they're lasting for varying amounts of time here. And sorting out some more keybinds again. And once we get level 10, I think we're going to go straight into Spindle Clutch, and we're going to do that. That's going to be our first dungeon of the day, of course. First dungeon of the life of my Arcanist here. And of course it does help as well that we got ESO plus there. That gives us a bit of extra experience as well. But what I'm thinking is really handy for doing this leveling is definitely having the training trait on all of your pieces of armor. I've got it on all of my Orders Roth pieces that are all level 10, and all of my weapons as well. So yeah, we're doing the dungeon now, and this is going to give us a really nice bunch of experience, especially with a scroll on, and it's the first one of the day, so it's going to be really nice. So we're going to do this, and then after we've finished this, I think I'm going to try and get into doing arena. So we're going to go for the Black Rose prison, and we're just going to do that on normal, and that's going to end up being the majority of where I spend my time, because it's really great experience and very easy to do. It's quicker or slower depending on how your team is, but if there's 4 of you, you really shouldn't have a problem with it. You can see everything I'm doing in this game as well is basically mostly Arcanists are going to be leveling with me, of course, because everyone wants to get their Arcanist leveled up. And it's really nice that this class is actually a really great healer as well, because in some groups we need healing, and we're getting that. So we're done with that one now. So we're doing the spindle clutch now. The first one wasn't a spindle clutch, but we do need to do this dungeon because that is also part of the Undaunted quest chain as well. So we don't need to do it, but it's nice to do it, because then if we hand that quest in, we're going to get the experience from that. Blah blah blah. Really nice. So the reason I want to do a bit of everything here is because I want to try and level different things up. I want to get the skill lines, at least a little head start on the Fighters Guild Undaunted, so that once we get level 50, we can get into PvP sooner rather than later. So some things you're never going to get to level 10 by the time you're level 50, like leveling with this method here, which is it's definitely not the fastest record for leveling, of course, because like you can be really sweaty and do more things than I'm doing. I'm not using Ambrosia boost, for example. I just don't have the gold to be able to afford it, and to be honest with you, this is quick enough for me. This is the sweet spot. We did this in less than a day, so very happy with that. Now we're going to go over and make her look more like Mileena from Mortal Kombat. We're going to change her outfit. I'm not buying motifs or anything like that. I'm going to use basically what I've got and just try and get something close to what she looks like. So basically not wearing particularly very much, but what she is wearing is going to be purple, like magenta colour, and make her look a little like a ninja with the daggers. So we're using swords, but we're going to make them look like daggers, and that's not going to matter anyway, because we're going to be using the destruction staff mostly. If I can make a build where this uses dual wield, then that would be really cool, but never mind. So yeah, we're sticking with the Mortal Kombat theme, and let us know what you think about this outfit, and maybe some suggestions on what stuff I could do, what motifs or whatever I could use that would be an improvement to this. That would be great. Or if you guys have got something that looks cool as well, that's like in the theme of Mortal Kombat as well, or anything cool, that'd be really cool to know about. Just drop a comment. So what are we doing now? We are handing in the Undaunted quest there just to get some experience for that. We're just sorting out some things in the collectibles. We need to put we have a NPC that we can use to sell stuff and get our mount sorted out as well. All really silly, annoying things to do when you've got your first character, but make sure you do these things while you're not on a scroll at least. Ideally do these things just after you've made your character. Get your keybinds sorted, get your CP all pointed and that stuff before you pop that scroll, so you're not wasting your time. That's another thing I probably could have done better. Having said that, it probably added like another 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever on top of it. So in the scheme of it, it's really not that crazy. And I'm doing another dungeon here. It's great to do dungeons because you'll level up your Undaunted, and you've got to do that at some point anyway, because if you don't have level 10 Undaunted skill line, you won't have the Undaunted metal passive, which is an extra 6% to your raw stats pretty much. So you really should have that. and go for that. It's just going to make it less painful later on in the game, because if you want to do PvP and you haven't got that, then you're missing out on a trick there. You haven't got the edge. So we're with my friend Short Ass as well, Titchy Tammy there, and also an Arcanist helping me out, healing, actually doing a proper healing job as well, not just being a fake healer. I queued as a tank here, fake tank, but not a problem. We're doing such crazy damage that not an issue at all. We all know what we're doing. I've taken a Destruction Staff ability there, the first one in the tree there, but I'm not actually planning on using that in my PvP build at all. I'm pretty much going exclusively for class abilities, because I've got an idea of something that can work really nicely. I'm hoping it's going to be mega damage, hopefully. If it's played right, it depends on whether the skills work out how I want them to and stuff like that. It might not practically work, but we'll see how we go and explain it when we get there. And I'm going to swap abilities out all the time anyway, because I'll need to use abilities that, although work really well in PvP, or I'm hoping, some of these abilities not going to work so well in dungeons, but you need to slot them to level them up, so it's important to go through that and get that out of the way. Really important to get your abilities leveled up, just so you can morph them out and get them leveled up to make sure they do the max damage and they're the best they can be. And another great reason there to do the dungeons is that every dungeon, for the first time you do it, will give you a quest, giving you a skill point and added experience as well. So really kind of min-maxing there on the experience gain. And of course, when you're low level, you'll be presented with a different dungeon. Usually, as you go through, more dungeons open up to you. So it's more likely you'll get a different one that you haven't done. And they're super easy, especially with Spindle Clutch Fungal Grotto 1 as well. Really quick one. When you get that, if that's on a random, then you know that's going to be a real quick one to do. Arts Corinium doing that again now for the first time, so we could take the quest for that. And really quick to clean this up. I was skeptical that this would be doing that great damage at all, but it is actually really quite nice, even with my gear, which is dropping off now. It's level 10, as I said, and we're not replacing it. We're just sticking with that, and we're well above level 10 now, and it's negligible. I just want to stick with it. I don't want to take any pauses for any reason, even if I've got stuff in the bank. To me, it's just a waste of resources for something that I'm going to use and use it for less than a day, and then I'm not going to get it out again until I'm going to put it back. Once I'm done with this gear, I'm going to put it back in bank. We're going to wait for the next class to come out, so I'm not going to, I don't want so many slots like just taking up bank space. We're going to keep that gear, and it's doing nothing, so it's just a waste of space. So now we've moved on, as you can see, we're doing the Black Rose prison arena, and this is in Murkmire. And what we are doing is we are doing level 1 and 2 in the first room, and then we are spawning out again, teleporting out and resetting the dungeon. You can reset it a couple of ways, either disband your group if you haven't got a level 50 in the group there, but if you have a level 50 you can give them leader and they can just turn it to vet and then back to normal again, and then that's reset, and then you can go back in, rinse and repeat. Every time you do this, it takes, if you've got a decent enough group, it takes you 5 minutes, rinse and repeat, 5 minutes, and every 5 minutes you will get a level if you've got a scroll on like I have and you've got the training on all your gear. You're going to die from time to time, it just happens, because there's archers that you need to deal with in here, because they have like a snipe haymaker ability, and there's also foot soldiers that come up and smack you as well. They're easier to avoid. The archers, they need killing quickly. If you can kill them quickly, they're not a problem, but if you can't kill them very quick, you need to at least interrupt them whenever you can. So you see we're rinse and repeating here every time we go in. It's just the same thing again. So level 1 simple. Both waves 1 and 2 have archers and foot soldiers. They have a boss at the end of each wave as well. But at the start of wave 2, what is worth noting is on the southern side, where my character is now actually, in fact, or just was, that there you just saw we were killing. This is on 10 times, so it's quite hard to see anything specifically, but there is a incinerator. It's like a mage mob, and it does like a massive AoE thing. It fires like fireworks at everybody, and that one needs to go down quickly. If you can get that one down, then if you all know about that, kill that one first, then it's very smooth. The elementals here, they look scary, but they're really not a problem. Just ignore those. You need to deal with the archers and the foot soldiers. Did I mention? So very simple. Just basically kill everything and make sure you survive. There are also 4 things here that you can buff yourself with as well, and they are available to use once per round. One of them will res your whole team. So if you are in a panicky situation where 2 of your guys or even 3 of them have gone down, if that one is up and hasn't been used before that round, go up to it, press X, and you will res your whole team back up again if you need to. Hopefully things don't get that bad, but it's there if you need it. There's other buffs as well, a defense one, a healing one, a regeneration, a sustain one that boosts your regeneration for your stamina and magicka and all that stuff. So that's it. This is going to be pretty boring, but it's definitely, in my experience, one of the best, quickest ways to level here. We're not getting loot or anything like that. In fact, we're pretty much getting nothing out of this other than the experience and leveling up our skills and stuff like that. So arguably, if you it's horses for courses which way you choose to level up. You can do just dungeons if you want to, and like go for the Undaunted and get gold and gear that you can sell or disenchant or whatever you want to. I'm not worried about deconstructing because my main character is going to be doing all of that, and I don't need gold. Well, that's not really true. The reason I'm poor is because I think I don't need gold. But this is compared to dolmens, for example. Dolmens give you Fighters Guild experience like consistently, and the dolmens also give you a chest at the end, and if you want to level up your jewelry and get materials for jewel crafting and that, it's better for that than doing this. So if you want to do that, by all means I would recommend doing dolmens, but the dolmens are not as quick as this. This is really a fast way of leveling. The only thing that I have to do every now and then is, because I am dying from time to time, I have to go and repair my gear, and even if you're not dying, you're still being hit, so it will still take some durability loss as well. So just make sure that every time your scroll is down, or you get a moment to breathe where you're not going in with your group because someone needs a break for whatever reason or whatever, you go and repair your gear up if it needs to be repaired, and then you can just keep doing this, rinse and repeat. Take some guildies with you, take some mates or whatever, and none of you needs to be particularly doing a particular role. What you should make sure you're doing is you have a shield ability on your hotbar, you have a heal ability on your hotbar as well, and just try to build in a way where you are not going to be totally starved of resources as well, because that is sometimes an issue as well. And also, I don't know if you noticed there, my game crash, you saw the Streamlabs, the blank screen there. I actually had a few crashes. I'm not sure why, but I'm wondering whether it's just something to do with some crazy spaghetti code going on with the new patch or whatever. Having said that, it's not surprising to get a crash for some random reason normally anyway. And we're having a break now from the Black Rose prison. We are doing the Fungal Grotto, finally. Very quick dungeon. Really love this one. Very simple. This is number 2 actually. I think we've already done number 1, I'm not sure. But yeah, number 2. So again, because it's number 2, we get another quest, more experience, level up that Undaunted, and yeah, that's really nice there. So it's for me, because I was doing this just non-stop. I didn't log into another character the whole time I was doing this. I just literally stayed on the Arcanist. I kind of felt for my own sanity that I'd have to break it up a little bit there. But as you can see, I'm straight back to the Black Rose prison again. So I even do some dolmens, and I think I only do like 3 or 4 before realising actually this is so bad experience compared to this place. So I just come back here again. So this time round we are doing it with a level 50, and we're just duoing it at the start because it's very easy to duo if you are level 50 anyway, or even solo, to be honest with you. But this person hadn't done it before, so I was just explaining a couple of things about how to reset and what mobs and stuff need to go down. And once we got the hang of it, it went very smoothly. And then we get some more people in the group. The more people, again, there you see another crash there. The more people you get in the group, the easier it will be, and you've got nothing to lose for that. In fact, it's better experience because you're just going to get it done so much quicker. And of course, now's the time to do it because everyone is leveling an Arcanist. Not everyone is. We're joined by a Necromancer at a couple of points here as well. But this is the place to be. The best time to level a class. Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's the new one out or whatever, but do it when a new one comes out because everyone just wants to get on the power leveling. Don't pay anyone to boost you. It's a really bad idea, and it's just a stupid waste of money. People advertise and say, oh, boosting in Black Rose prison or whatever, they claim that they can do it like in an hour or whatever, 1 to 50. Maybe it's true, I'm not sure, but sounds crazy. They're probably going to provide you with the ambrosia, and they make sure that you've got the training gear and all that stuff, and other little tricks that I don't know about and don't really care to know about as well, because I'm not. That's not something that appeals to me. Like paying someone in-game gold to boost your character to level 50. And then once you've done that anyway, you're going to have to come back and level all these skill lines, and that's just like, you're going to pay someone to do that for you as well? Well, no, don't do it. It's a waste of money. Just get a group. This is, although it's still going to be, you're going to be jaded by this experience after you've got level 50. You'll be really pleased to get out of here. It's certainly a lot more fun than just sitting there feeling like you're a spare part because someone else is just boosting you and you paid them to do it anyway, right? Now we're doing a dolmen or two. Level up a bit of fighters guild here. So as I say, if you wanna just get your fighters guild up to level 10 and not worry about that once you hit level 50, definitely dolmens I do recommend, but the experience just doesn't seem that good to me at all. Really doesn't. And they're really boring. I've done them a lot. And it is hilarious just how many green beams and green little triangles are floating about the place. Everyone is an Arcanist pretty much, like doing the dolmens. It's just like the screen is full of green. It's crazy. My screen was just glowing radioactive. And then we're back in the Black Rose prison, because that's how we roll. But yep, that just kind of points it out, really. It's up to you how you want to do this. This is just how I'm doing it, and as I say, not the quickest, but I think it was quick enough anyway. Did it in less than a day, so yeah, really pleased with it all. And using the scrolls that I wouldn't use anyway, like I just got them saved up and just haven't really used them at all. You're struggling to get people together sometimes for a group here, but I guess it depends what time of day you're doing it or whatever. I also haven't done a battleground yet on this character, and we're definitely gonna do one of those because that's gonna be an extra boost in experience as well. But it's risky because if you lose, you're not gonna get lots of experience from that. And I only want to do one, and of course if I do in one and it's the first one of the day, I at least want to come second to get that big chunk of experience from the first daily one. But yeah, we talk more now. I think it would be appropriate about the abilities that we're going to try and go for in PvP. So what I'm going to aim for with this build is, it will be no surprise to some of you that I'm going to try and make this a 1-bar build, all them buffs, because that's what I like doing. And we're going to, well, I'll talk about the skills first, but of course it's important to know that we're running 1 bar there just to lay the foundation. For our heal, we're going to use the Rune Mend ability, and we're going to go for Evolving Rune Mends to give us a heal over time. So that's going to act as our Vigour, if you like. That's going to be our burst heal ability. And then secondly, we are going to be using, well, one of the main things for this, actually, I will point out, is the ultimate. I want to build this around the Squid Beam ability, as I like to call it. So that's the Languid Eye. So we're going to use, I'm not sure actually whether it's going to be Languid or the Tide King Gaze. So you see I had another crash there. We're doing a battleground. So this is basically a squid that spawns above, the one-eyed squid or whatever it is, that spawns in the air and beams down like a massive green damage beam. And I'm not sure which morph I want to take yet. It depends in practicality how the beam actually works, because one of them follows the target. I want to use an ice staff for that reason, to slow the target and also get some other slows or whatever. So that one might be the preferable one, but failing that, I would like to maybe try out the one that snares but doesn't move. I don't think it follows the target back. It stays where it is, but it snares when it hits. But again, that might not work. We have to test this out, and I haven't done that before. I know some people will already be familiar with this ability in the PTS, sorry, on the test server. But here, this is new for me. I'm going to test it out, and that's going to be like a big part of our combo, like getting that ultimate off, definitely. But also, we are going to be using as our spammable the Rune Blades, and for PvE I'm taking the AoE one, but for PvP I want to take the other morph because it does, I think it's going to be better for damage doing burst to single targets, because it gives us more of a more crit chance. That's going to be like our spammable there. And we are also going to be using, oh no, we're not going to be, I've got Pragmatic Fate Carver, and that's assuming that this build is not going to work how I want it to be. That's the beam basically, but I want to try and build without using this, because there's an ability that I prefer to use, the Abyssal Impact. So that's the unmorphed version. It's basically when you see the tentacles go flying out the front of an Arcanist, like massive tentacles or whatever they are, and we're going to use the Magicka version of this, because this is going to be a Magicka build that I'm going to aim for, and that is hopefully going to give us some really nice damage, and it's just going to really help us just finish off enemies. That's going to be part of the combo. And we also are going to have a stun in the build as well. Our stun is going to be Rune of the Colourless Pool. So this is the ability unmorphed, is called Rune of Eldritch Horror. And we're using this one because it's going to apply minor brittle to the target. We don't want our target moving about as part of this setup that I'm going for. So we want to have this morph. It applies minor brittle, and they're going to be stunned in place. At that point, we are then going to be either spamming them with our card throwing ability and then into the tentacles, or we're going to slap on an ultimate and then stun them maybe. So we'll see how it goes. There's a few different ideas I've got. So you can see that this build is going to be using not be using the beam at all, and if that works out really nicely, then that'll be really grand. And we're coming up to level 50 now, and we're just going to finish this off in Craglorn. And there is another ability as well that we're going to slot, and that's called Impervious Rune Ward. Unmorphed is called Rune Spite Ward. And this is going to be our shield. It's going to give us 10k shield. So that, with our healing ability, that's going to cover our survivability. The only problem I'm really concerned about with this, and that's partly because we're on a 1 bar. I mean, you can solve this problem on any character if you've got 2 bars easily, but is the mobility. So you could take, if on a class that hasn't got very good mobility, you can take a Psijic Order ability, for example, to make you run faster, or you can be a vampire and take the ability that makes you teleport forwards or whatever. But we're not doing that here, and maybe we're gonna have to have a swap about, but I don't see how we're gonna have space for any other ability. We're not going in stealth, so the Nightblade, for example, doesn't have any, like, it doesn't have streak like a sorcerer does. The sorcerer doesn't go invisible, but it's got streak. But this character has not got invisibility capability like on tap, like instantly, like a Nightblade does. So we really are going to feel the pinch not having a mobility ability. So we'll see how we get on, and maybe have to go back to the drawing board. I'm fully expecting that we will do. This is like some theory crafting stuff going on here. And of course, I don't really know or have a feel for how these abilities are truly going to hit for in PvP, because in that battleground there, I didn't change my gear. We were still using level 10 Orders Wrath and Heartland Conqueror's gear. So we're just using class abilities, nothing else for now at least. And I'm just about to hit level 50. I'm going to go on to my main, my Nightblade, and we're going to get some gear together. We're going to be using the Shell Splitter set and Snake in the Stars. That's the plan, with the Open Soul Ring, of course, and a one-piece monster set. Pretty simple. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to be back in the next episode with the build that I'm going for in more detail and show you what this looks like on the character in real time there. So I'll catch you next time. Thank you very much. If you made it this far, I'd like to say a big thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like this. It would help my channel out a lot. I also do videos where I talk more in detail about my builds, as well as other Elder Scrolls Online content, guides, discussions, etc. Please feel free to ask questions or say hi in the comments, as I do reply to all of them when I can. Thanks again, and see you next time.